All right, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. One of my subscribers requested that I do a different video concerning the latest immigration update about ICE agents arresting migrants who are showing up to their immigration hearings and their meetings that they are supposed to be showing up to. These are people who do not have criminal records and were given a certain level of safety in the country while they awaited their day in court for their case to be heard. Majority of these people definitely did not think that they would become one of those people who would one day show up and end up being deported, and that is happening now. So we covered this morning on our live video, but that video is over 2 hours long with multiple topics throughout the video. So we will use this particular video to focus solely on this information. ICE agents are arresting migrants who are showing up for their immigration hearings, and they are getting them ready for deportation. Dozens of immigrants across the United States of America have now reportedly been arrested by federal agents while attending their routine immigration check-ins or their court appointments, according to latest reports. Now, again, these are not people who were hiding and they entered the country illegally, or they overstayed their welcome, their visas expired, and they're hiding somewhere from authorities. These are people who are on record. They went through the legal system. They are in the process of getting their paperwork straightened out so that they can be here. They were told that they should report. It is like saying you will report every 2 weeks to this address and check in. And there are people here, because there's such a big backlog in the U.S. military, in the U.S. immigration system. There are people here whose cases have been going on for years, some 5-6 years and more. So can you imagine? You've been reporting for 5, 6, 7 years, only to one day tell your wife and kids, I'll be back, babe. I'm going to go check in like I normally do every 2 weeks. And you are apprehended that Monday when you go to check in, and you are deported by Tuesday morning the following day. That quick. Now, under President Donald Trump's new administration, and in accordance with his aggressive mass deportation plan, immigration and customs enforcement officers, or agents, they are permitted to conduct enforcement activities in and around courthouses, so long as it does not violate any state laws. What this means is you better not even get a traffic ticket. We have stories here of individuals who got a traffic ticket, a citation, and went to traffic court and were picked up from traffic court by immigration authorities and were immediately deported. You know what the craziest part about this is? That there are immigration attorneys who have been giving out information to the public on how to stay safe, on contact us if you need this help or that help. This cannot happen. That cannot happen. I am seeing some of the stuff that some immigration attorneys have told the public cannot happen. I'm seeing it happen right now. Local news outlets in Tennessee, in Florida, in New York, in Minnesota, and other places have reported on multiple unsuspecting people being arrested. These people did not know it was coming. Some potentially are now being readied for deportation, while others have been deported already. And all of these people this happened while they were showing up for their scheduled appointments. Now, this can be a big problem, which can cause a further bigger problem down the road. For instance, the people who've been playing by the numbers or playing by the books, the laws, and they were told you will show up every 2 weeks and you will report here. And they've been doing that for years. Now that these people are hearing that, oh my God, they're starting to hold people when they go for their regular hearing and just deport them the next day. Guess what? I'm not going anymore. So what this can end up doing is it can end up causing a lot of people who were perfectly fine being here to suddenly start hiding. Now, by law, it says that in the immigration court, if they fail to show up on the day that their court case is called before the judge, a judge automatically issues a deportation order for the individual who does not show up. Now, I'm thinking ICE might be scaring some people into actually becoming all the way illegal. Because there are going to be people who are going to say, you know what? I'm going to take my chances and not show up. I'm just going to try to keep a low profile, hopefully for the next 4 years, until at least the Donald Trump administration is out of office, and hopefully they vote somebody else in who is kinder to migrants. Now, a group of people in Delray Beach, Florida, they were reportedly tricked into going to see an immigration officer at a local supervision office at the end of January. And they thought, okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go see an immigration officer, a supervisor, check in. And when they got there, they were detained. And then they were taken away by immigration law enforcement. One family member has told NBC Miami. The acting assistant director for field operations, Garrett Ripa, has denied these claims that the people were lured. At least 3 people without criminal records have been detained in Nashville during routine check-ins since the 20th of January till today, the 19th of February. These are regular folks who do not have criminal records. They've done nothing criminal other than overstayed their welcome in this country, and they have been trying to get their paperwork straightened out. Went in one day and was not allowed to leave, and are now in immigration holding while deportation is being processed to send them back to their country of birth. One New York judge acknowledged at a public hearing last week that ICE officers have been conducting deportation arrests in the hallways or outside of his courtroom and outside of the courthouses. So a lot of these judges do not want to be a part of what ICE is doing. So what these judges are saying is, listen, I do traffic. I am here for traffic infractions, speeding tickets, illegal parking. I'm not trying to use my courthouse to set somebody up to be torn away from their family and deported to another country. So people are coming in to answer to a traffic ticket, and right outside in the hallway, ICE agents are waiting for them. One judge has confirmed that this is true. This is a New York City judge. And that was reported in the Times Union. A spokesperson for ICE said in a statement that once an alien is subject to a final order of removal that is issued by an immigration judge or other lawful means, then ICE officers must carry out the removal. That is understandable. That is understandable. Now, Aliens who are placed into removal proceedings, they receive their legal due process from federal immigration judges in the immigration courts, which are administered by the Department of Justice Executive Office for Immigration Review. The Executive Office for Immigration Review, which is a separate entity from ICE or the Department of Homeland Security, is where immigration judges determine whether or not an immigrant is subject to a final order or eligible for certain forms of relief. The recent string of arrests could instill fear in some immigrants who have upcoming check-ins or upcoming court dates with the immigration courts or upcoming appointments, especially after the Donald Trump administration has issued a memorandum allowing enforcement officers to expedite deportations for any person with a removal order, regardless of any upcoming proceedings. That is very important for you to understand that. Donald Trump's administration has issued a memorandum which now allows enforcement officers to expedite deportation, speed up the deportation process for any person with a removal order, regardless of any upcoming proceedings. Now, if you had a removal order before and you have been fighting it and they gave you another date in court, say we're having a review of your case and you are to report on the 20th or the 21st of February 2025, you may very well go to that appointment thinking you're getting somewhere, only to be arrested by ICE agents and swiftly deported. However, failure to appear for a routine appointment can also result in deportation itself. I think this is now a lose-lose situation. It's a catch-22 to this. Do you take your chances and hide and abscond, run off, not show up for your appointment because you are now aware that they are holding people and are deporting them? Or do you show up with your fingers crossed, saying your prayers, hoping you're not one of them? Failure to appear for a routine appointment can result in automatic deportation in itself. Being an undocumented immigrant is not a crime. It is actually a civil offense. But it is a crime to illegally re-enter the U.S. if the person has already been deported. Let me say that again. This is not my laws, and I've heard a lot of people get this wrong by saying once you're an undocumented immigrant in the country, then you've committed a crime. Well, it's not that level of a crime. Being an undocumented immigrant is not a crime. It is a civil offense. But it is a crime to illegally re-enter the U.S. if the person has already been deported. That means they deport you back to your country, you find a way to get back into the U.S. Now you're here illegally, right? Full understanding. So people who enter the United States, they are required to report to ICE officers for check-ins if they initially were detained by ICE upon entering the country, or if they have an existing order of removal. Some of them must attend check-ins even while they are appealing a deportation order. And these are the people that I'm saying, a lot of them are now going to their regular scheduled appointments, keeping in the law, doing the right thing, and one day they just suddenly snatch them up. One mother was deported in January after reporting to her immigration officer for a scheduled check-in that she normally checks in for. She was unaware that she had lost her appeal in her case. She was not notified that she had lost her appeal. They just left it until she came in, and she thought this was another one of those days where she was going to check in and go back home, and she checked in and they detained her, and she only learned of the order while she was attending that scheduled appointment with her young daughter in tow. She had her young daughter with her. This one came on NBC News. Now, although the Trump administration has promoted a priority list of deporting those with criminal records, it doesn't look like those are the only people who are getting deported. And I remember while the election was going on, a lot of people who have some kind of issue with their status in the United States of America, many of them were saying, oh, we're going to be safe. We're going to be fine. We're not criminals. Donald Trump is not trying to break up families, and he's not trying to deport people who aren't doing bad things. You know, I have my court date coming up. I've been going to my check-ins. I'm fine. I'm good. Well, I'm here to tell you that you might not be fine or good. I'm here to tell you that they are grabbing at individuals who do not have any criminal record, who are not a problem. And one of the issues has to do with Donald Trump ran on the basis that this would be the largest deportation campaign the United States of America has ever seen. And they are having problems getting those numbers. They want more. They want more. They want more. They have reportedly set out quotas where they are expecting at least 1,500 arrests per day. They want these deportation flights to be filled and taking off on a regular basis. And they're not getting as many as they would like. So the superiors are coming down very harshly on the field officers who are out here as agents working to capture or to bring in migrants for deportation. So that has created a very hostile environment. And now they are everywhere, right? They are starting to raid restaurants and even trying to get into schools or hanging out outside of schools if they cannot get into the schools. So you might very well jump out of your car thinking, oh, we're protected because the school is off limits. If they catch you in the parking lot, or if they catch you outside of the school building, then there's going to be a problem. You understand? If you're at the club partying for the night, or if you're attending a cultural event, you could be in problems. So the immigration community, or the immigrant community rather, is right now in a spooky place. Spooky place. Again, like I said, many people thought, this was going to be mostly for people who were bad people, who deserved to be deported out of the United States of America. Well, it's for everybody. Everybody is on the list to go. Whether you're children, there's a story here of a young man who has been in the United States of America since he was 13 years old. We spoke his story on our morning show this morning. He has been in the U.S. since he was 13 years old. He was protected under the DACA program. The DACA program was the program that protected children who came to the United States of America with their parents, and the children were illegal. And the children, you're a child, you have no say in where your parents are going to take you. So if your parents are like, we're crossing the border, we're going into America, as a child, all you know is, I guess we're moving to America then. right? Right. So under the Obama administration, they had came up with the DACA program, which would protect these dreamers or these children who many of them have grown up in the United States of America. If you could imagine your mom and your dad crossing the border with you on their back and you're like 2, 3 years old, very much unaware of what's going on in your life, right? And then you're raised in this country and your parents don't sit you down and tell you that, hey, you have no status to be here. You were not born here. You come from Mexico, or you come from Guatemala, or you come from Honduras, or you come from wherever, but you're not American. And these children grow up and they excel in school and they become American children. And then once that happens, out of the blue, when it's time for them to apply for college and or apply for jobs, this is when their status comes into question. You know, what is your status in the United States of America? Are you a citizen or are you a green card holder? If you're a green card holder, put your green card number in this slot right here. And then they start to ask their parents, hey, mom, what do we, am I a citizen or am I where's my passport or where's my birth certificate, etc. Only to find out that, damn, you're not even supposed to be in this country in the first place. So you're illegal and you're going to be deported if you're caught. So under the Donald Trump, not Donald Trump, but under the Obama administration, Obama made sure that there was a protection in place for these young people, and that was the DACA program. One of the first things that Donald Trump got rid of when he came into his second term as president was the DACA program. He promised he would get rid of the DACA program, and he did. So the DACA program is out of whack, and those who were protected under it no longer have protection. Hence the reason this guy who had been in the U.S. since he was 13 years old, who had grown up to become a middle school science teacher in Florida, was actually picked up and deported. Yeah. So this is just a warning, and not really a warning, but an update for those out there to know that even your family members and friends, colleagues, associates, your favorite social media personalities, whoever that has this type of status where they are waiting on a court date, they are probably, some of them are going to be caught up in this, where they will go in thinking it's a regular check-in or that their case has been called forward only to be detained and deported, right? Leave your comments in the comment section below, and I'll catch you on the next video. I have no dog in this fight. It is what it is. And honestly, I am watching some communities get exactly what they voted for. Yes, I have a heart, but this is in process, and a process I cannot stop. I'll catch you on the next video. Pass the word along. You might be able to help someone. I'm out. Peace.